This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
I love that.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
I both hate and love a finale. Because, we done for the time being. That kind of sucks. But also means we made it to here. And that's pretty great, right? So we celebrate that. And that's pretty fun. You know what I'm saying? It's Creme Patissier. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast. I'm joined, as always, by my homegirl, Nick Jew.
It went the way it should have.
Fair. I'll allow for that. And of course, the 216's own Big Anthony.
I feel like I could eat more.
Agree.
But that's ideal, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to be.
I am the Internet Stable 713. And if it's your first time joining us, you might be wondering.
What's Creme Patissier?
Oh,
Yeah, you
Well,
want me
I
to tell you the
love
story of
it.
that real quick?
yes.
Okay, so we were sitting down eating dinner tonight, and I was like, well, tonight is Thursday, and we usually record Skim, but tonight we're doing Creme Patissier. Emery said, "What's Creme Patissier?" And I was like, that sounded so good. Let me go get my phone.
I love it.
Yeah, Creme Patissier is people of color reviewing the Great British Bake Off and some other show, in this case, the Great American Baking Show. We also reviewed The Big Brunch, which was a show on HBO Max, and who knows what we'll review in the future. And I think our perspective matters when it comes to things like this, and I like what we do. And that's what's going down. And we don't simply review the show. We also have a segment we do each week, and that is known as Bakers Make the World Go Round. It's our little news segment. We usually snag a couple of stories and around the world, a world of baking. And I pulled them this week, and I normally don't. Normally these two pull them, and I get to just play reader. But I thought these two were relevant to our interests. First one, baking star from the Great American Baking Show is making braided bread. This is from yesterday from WBOC Delmarva's news leader. Where Delmarva is? And it dawns on me that this is actually a video and not a news story. But this just means don't worry, Anthony pulled me a story, and I will give you the link to this. It's Susan Simpson of this very program in a news studio doing making bread, and I didn't realize it was a video. I thought it was a news story, so that's fun. But don't worry, Anthony got me another news story because that's how we roll, people. So look how quickly I can just pull this up. Boom! You got a story of how a Bake Off star unveils a special cake for his ship anniversary. It's Christopher Mace at the BBC News. You know it's wild when they have a byline. They just don't give them out over there, but here we go. Oh, it's the homie, too. Thanks, Ant. A Great British Bake Off winner has celebrated the 180th anniversary of a historic British ship by unveiling a replica made of cake. Giuseppe Delano, who won the show in 2021, revealed the showstopper to a small audience at the SS Great Britain in Bristol. Mr. Delano, an engineer, then cut the cake in front of young engineers and their families. He said engineering and baking are more similar than you think. They're both about accuracy, precision, and they're both about creativity and being able to think outside the box. Like with this magnificent cake, he added. During the unveiling, Mr. Delano poured dry ice in the funnel to create artificial smoke. The cake was made by Occasion Cakes in Bedminster and was carved out of a block made from several sheets of sponge. It was then filled with buttercream and jam, and layers of icing were added. Isambard Kingdom Brunel's SS Great Britain, man, that's a lot, was the first in the world to be made of iron and have a propeller. It was launched by Prince Albert on 19 July 1843 in Bristol Harbor. Accounts vary of the day, but one story is that the prince threw a bottle of champagne at the ship from a table to launch the ship, showering the crowd below in broken glass. It would be a further 2 years before the ship made its maiden voyage to New York in 1845. Head of interpretation at the SS Great Britain, Iona Keene, said, "It is vital the ship is celebrated 180 years on. To have a ship of that age still with us in a fantastic feat is a fantastic feat of engineering," she said. When she was born, she was the biggest ship of her kind and is really the blueprint of modern ships and a key part of the national and international history. As well as the cake unveiling, the SS Great Britain team is celebrating the anniversary by making entry for up to 2 children free with an adult ticket through the summer. A trail designed for children called Birthday Banquet Blunder, where families follow clues to find food and hidden items around the ship, is also running. The idea of this is to show what food would have been like aboard the ship when it traveled back and forth between Britain and New York in the 19th century. Lovely. Thank you, sir, for snagging that one for us.
Giuseppe.
Other one. Like every color Giuseppe's a guilty pleasure is me. In its new home, the Great American Baking Show is more like the British version than ever. This is from Reality Blurred, and Andy Denhart is on the byline. Over the past decade, adaptations of the Great British Bake Off in the United States, look at him put respect on his name. I just want y'all to know. I didn't change that. Usually I'm changing what people write, but this man wrote the Great British Bake Off in the United States have come out of the Hollywood oven again and again. The show began with CBS's Overbaked Jeff Foxworthy hosted the American Baking Competition.
God.
Malicious. Ugh. And since then, there have been 5 more seasons and 3 different names, all on ABC. The Great Holiday Baking Show, the Great American Baking Show Holiday Edition, twice, and the Great American Baking Show, twice. In that time, there were 6 different hosts and 5 different judges. In one season that disappeared mid-run.
Damn.
I told y'all about that one. That dude got me too. And they was like, nope. All have been produced by Love Productions, offering an opportunity to see what 3 different networks, now CBS, ABC, and Roku, have asked for. The ABC version had its charms, but changed literally every season, so it never got traction. While networks pretending that earlier seasons don't exist usually drives me nuts, I am not as disconcerted by the Roku Channel deciding to call its first season The Great American Baking Show Season 1 instead of 6 or 7 if you include the CBS version. That's because Roku's The Great American Baking Show is the closest an American network has come to transporting the original to the States. The Roku Channel, a free streaming service that does not require one of these. What is one of these? One of these is a link in the story, so let's click on that and see what one of these is. Oh, a Roku device. Very good. You're funny, Mr. Article Man. is even on the web, have licensed the first 7 seasons of GBBO, and also the celebrity specials and after show and Extra Slice. I didn't know I could watch the Extra Slice on here. I've been trying to get y'all to watch the Extra Slice.
I know you had sent like a link, and I'm like, I don't know how to work this, so now I can go find it.
Yeah. Roku gave us a hint of what to expect with a fantastic celebrity holiday special last December. It really was good. If y'all didn't watch that, it's on there right now too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. You would love that, Nick.
I'm going to check it out.
The new civilian season isn't as immediately charming because it's not stocked with a cast of talented entertainers. And it also follows in GBO footsteps with a pointless bit. I love that pointless bit. This one opens with an attempt at humor about British accents that is beneath the talent of all involved. They're talking about first episode. I thought that it was a fine joke. It's fine. It acts, for some strange reason, as if we have no idea what the Great British Baking Show is. Thankfully, it's uphill from there. The 9 bakers who will compete over 6 episodes have a mix of backgrounds and skills and are introduced with the usual charming slice of life packages. For the first Showstopper challenge, which asks for a 3D scene from their lives, they construct everything from a gay Chicago beach to a rehab center where one contestant recovered from a brain injury. There are quite a few disasters that suggest this small cast might not be capable of the challenges of the tent, but in the second episode, Showstopper, Illusion Cakes, they're all truly outstanding work.
Except them boots.
Beside the fewer number of contestants, 9, and episodes, 6, there are other changes. Instead of being filmed at Welford Park, the Great British Baking Show has erected its very familiar tent here in the gardens next to Heatherden Hall at Pinewood Studios, which is in near London or outside of London. While the UK version actually has a full week between its weekend tapings, the show filmed using the US version's typical schedule, 2 days of baking, 2 days off to practice, according to one of the contestants. Despite those differences, what unfolds is mostly indistinguishable from the British version. The structure, the tent, the 3 challenges. We also get the illustrations of the baker's plans, Paul improves usual judging, and Paul's goddamn handshake. Man, this man really wrote that. Yes, the Great American Bake Show also brings the worst of the Great British Bake Off to America too. The British version has been introducing increasingly absurd challenges. Instead of just repeating classics, it's forgetting the lessons of its early seasons where the drama came not from failures in a nailed-style challenge, but from the challenges of baking even the simplest of things under time constraints. The preview shows a future Great American Baking Show technical challenge involving hamburgers, because as we all know, frying meat patties is much of a key of baking skill as making guacamole and tortillas for tacos. Ooh,
Bruh.
if you know, you know.
Put the ether beat on.
Speaking of tacos, in the preview, Paul Hollywood corrects a baker's pronunciation of basil, which is a hell of a choice for Paul Taco Hollywood.
No.
Yes, Paul and Prue are doing their usual thing, and it works as well as it does for their flagship show. A minor spoiler, Prue's absent from the second episode due to illness, which throws the whole thing off balance. Ellie sits in for Prue during the technical tasting in the tiny tent, but otherwise it's Paul, with him making all the judgments and decisions. This show already has too much Paul. See, that's how it's written. So this is not a great turn. Thankfully, she's back in episode 3, but because that's Bread Week, the focus goes back to Paul's expertise yet again. The new personalities in the tent are host Ellie Kemper, The Office on Break with Kimmy Schmidt, and Zach Cherry, Severance, You. They're finding their way as a duo in the tent, but quickly bring their own charm. Some things work, others are just waste of time, like the poorly conceived cold open. Their banter with the contestants is more purposeful than Noel Fielding's disruptions.
No.
Okay. And they have some good jokes and banter. After Ellie gives a 2-hour time call, Zach says, but don't worry, that's still plenty of time to make crucial mistakes. I'm rather hoping these bakers will bring something a bit new to the tent, Prue says at the start of the series. I'm expecting unusual bakes or at least unusual flavors. What does the American side of the production bring to the tent? Paul Hollywood said in an interview that there was a blend of America and UK camera crew and sound crew and a lot of execs over from America. Thankfully, it's nothing unusual. It's a little bit more to that story, but it is in your notes and you can read the rest of it there. But I thought that was dope and a good way to wrap up this particular series. And why don't we get to it? It is the final. And our bakers in the tent this week are Sarah Chang, Diana O'Brien, and Martin Sorge. We got 2 Chicagoans in the building and one, what is she from? She's from Sacktown, right? Yeah. What is she from Sacramento?
She from everywhere.
Well, she work in Sacktown, so we're going to give Sacramento some peas. And the opening bit this week that Ellie jumping in a cake, I thought was pretty fun.
I think like that article you just read, at points I felt like we wrote it, which made me feel really validated as a podcaster reviewing the show. But I also thought that he was too snarky and kind of mean for no reason. And I disagreed with him about the cold opens. I found them to be really charming, actually. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody always got to be snooty.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Well, fuck you. It's okay. It's your opinion. I don't got to say fuck you, but I do got to say kind of fuck you. So
it was definitely almost like the shade room-ish.
Yeah.
The way that was written.
Yeah, he did kind of get in there right quick for a couple of bars there. So I will give him peas on that particular thing. for our final signature, they want an elevated snack cake, 2 hours to complete. Basically, they want you to make a hostess cake of your own design. And that is fun. That's a real good challenge that I hope they repeat in the Bake Off, English Bake Off. I don't know a lot of English snacks, but I do know a few, chocolate cakes and the like, and digestive biscuits and so forth. So I kind of would like to see their take on it as well. Sarah is up top. She's going to make a fancy pecan crumble cake. Brown sugar genoise sponge, cinnamon mascarpone cream filling, covered in the chocolate mirror glaze with toasted pecans. Hearing Ellie say pecan tells me exactly where in the country she's from. And I guess I come from near there too. You know what I'm saying?
So she made she made a ho-ho. Is that what that was?
So she was basically combined the two versions of intimate snacks that her family got down with. The cinnamon crumb cake, which she said everybody in her family liked but her. But she loved the shiny chocolate cinnamon donuts.
Oh, okay.
So she combined the best of her Sunday morning snacks into one.
Yeah, it looked like a ding dong.
Yeah, it kind of did that. It had that general. Well, yeah. Man, you know what? She should have cut it that way. That would have made so much more sense than what she did. Diana with a raspberry snowball coconut cake. She's a raspberry snowball cake with coconut and lime sponge, which I think was an obvious callback to last week's technical challenge because she did so well and she was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I absolutely love red zingers until I one day read the package and was like, that's a lard. I can't eat these. And therefore I had to let go of red zingers. I saw red zingers today at the store and was like, if only. And I like snowballs as well. And it's basically so to combine two of my personal hostess bangs into one, I was like, okay, lady, I see you.
I've never had a snowball. You don't like her.
No,
I've never had a snowball.
It is an acquired taste.
It's covered in coconut.
Coconut
and
marshmallow.
So it's a little chocolate. So it's a little chocolate puck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's your little cupcake, got a little cream filling in it. Then that is domed with marshmallow.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the outside of that is coconut.
Yeah, I don't really ball with coconut, so that's probably why I've never had one.
Oh, to the good.
But I bet you in my adult palate, I probably would fuck with it.
Yeah. I really love those raspberry zingers. In a world,
I don't think I've ever had that either.
Yeah, in a world of just cream filled with some hard ass icing on it, it was something different about that raspberry zinger. And when we used to go to the
so basically,
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, so that one is basically, well, okay. See, it used to be back in the day because zingers used to be Dolly Madison,
yeah,
not Hostess. But then eventually, when that all said and done, they Hostess now. And then they used to be like Snoopy was their mascot. They basically had Peanuts as they Dolly Madison Cake's mascot. And so all of Dolly Madison's little frosted joints had this like hard ass icing that they had on top of them. But like Ant was saying, what made the zinger dope was it was basically, you know what I'm saying, your little sponge cake, had your little filling in it, but it just had like a red coating of, I don't know, raspberry. Yeah, because I can't tell you what it was made from.
This looked like a Twinkie that somebody rolled into like some jelly.
Yeah.
No, because it ain't jelly.
It ain't come off.
I would not.
It was some kind of magic to it. I would
it's this white stuff.
Coconut.
On the outside. Coconut. Oh, see? That's why I never had that.
What was dope about that, even though I think it was a Dolly Madison product, they used to have them at the Hostess outlet. Man.
Yep.
And when you
I was just talking about the Hostess outlet to somebody today, and they were just like, what? I'm like, bruh.
And don't go there on a Wednesday when they got the red line through the middle. Woo.
Look.
Man, kids will never know.
They won't.
I mean, the economy the way it is, they will.
All ours go.
I kind of wish they would, but I also would have no idea where we have a Hostess little little hosted spot at this
Yeah,
point.
all ours are
Because it kept moving further and further out the hood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it was like in the middle of the hood in my youngin' days. And then it was like, we going out to Parma. Like, why are you going to the Parma? They don't need that. They got money out there.
They don't need red lines. We need the red lines. Yeah. Yeah, because ours is right next to Value City on Miles.
Nice. Yeah. Martin is making neon zebra pistachio, sponge coated in pistachio with a layer of Amarena cherry, buttercream decorated with a tart cherry powder with zebra stripes. Amarena cherry is a cherry grown in Bologna and or Modena, 2 cities in Italy. It's usually bottled in syrup and used as a decoration on rich chocolate desserts. I don't know what cake he was going for.
A
I realize
zebra
zebra
cake.
stripes would make you think zebra cake,
Yeah.
but
Maybe he wanted to make a zebra cake, but just like in his own flavors,
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
which I
I
think
was
is
watching
the
him make that.
challenge. I think that's the challenge. Like instead of like using the same flavors and kind of shape of and elevate it, he made
Yeah.
a completely different situation, but just it looked like a zebra cake.
Yeah, that was dope.
I was looking at him make it, and I was like, my man came through with pistachio oil, and I was like, I don't know, bruh. That seemed like so much, but I am wrong here. That's what I'm saying. And so when we begin judging this, up first is of course Martin, and they're like, looks quite attractive, quite stark, and they mean that complimentarily. Very pretty, nice and soft, beautifully baked sponge. Combination of flavors is good, tastes great. Would have liked to have had crunchy pistachios. Maybe should have been praline. Is Prue's only, like, I guess, criticism. Absolutely delicious and very unusual. So that's a pretty solid review. And if in my opinion on that one. Up next is Sarah. Her mirror glaze is quite shiny, though her treats are not consistent size wise. Well baked sponge, but too much cinnamon. Should be a taste, not an effect. I wrote in parentheses here, bars. Prue rather likes the cinnamon, but it does dominate a bit, which would have liked more filling. It's a lot of cake, but not an awful lot of filling. Pretty good. Diana's up. Top has split. The cream has split, and when they say that, and it turns out she had set it on the stove, and I'm just like, I don't understand why, or I get the how she's trying to make space, but also, come on, baby.
She knew she had it fucked up too because she wasn't trying to argue with them. She just didn't know how hard they were going to clock it. And as soon as they clocked it, she was like, yep, you got me.
It was such an own goal that I was just like, how did you manage? But that seemed to be her this whole episode. So, overall look is nice and consistent. Very delicately done. Interior really nice. Sponge slightly overbaked. Coating nice and thin. Flavors are great. Could have been perfect. One hit away. Sorry, Bleak. I saw a Downey's commercial with the Backstreet Boys right here, and it was so funny that I wrote it in my notes. That commercial was funny as hell. I don't know what commercials y'all got this go around, but that one really made me chuckle.
Is it the Geico one or whatever it is? Is it? Was it insurance?
It was Downey, and I have no idea what Backstreet Boys' most popular song is.
Everybody.
Yes, it was that, and they kept going back to that, and then at the end, she sang a song, or she started a song that would have been a NSYNC song, and they was like, "No, that's not ours."
I did see that.
It was a really good commercial.
That's dope.
So, yeah. So I had to give it up to him. Something I thought would be interesting to share, and it's a good place to do it. As I told you, I'll be following my folk after the show was over, so because I don't feel like I can have anything
spoilery.
And I ended up following Sarah, and I want to find it because she has a whole thing just about Bake Off. Her name on Instagram, if you are so at all interested in following her, is On Weekends We Bake. And where is it? I want to get in here, but not make sure it's not too loud. And here we go. People ask, do they have people to do your hair and makeup? She said, no. And they also don't have people giving you a heads up if your hair looks not good. So like this is in her highlights. So you can go through it. Like she has a highlight called Gab's Looks and just one called just Gab's. And it's just different stuff of the show. And I think it's really cool. And it's a fun little like everybody else, you know, they kind of have had stuff, but she like went through and really made a whole thing about it. So I would say that's a pretty okay follow if you're interested in this show's contestants as to follow after the fact. So I think she'll be fun because she bakes, and I'm all about that. Technical challenge is up next here. It's set by Prue. This was an interesting show, a technical challenge. I was like, okay, I especially okay. So here I'll read you what it is, and I'll tell you what my thoughts. Set by Prue, she wants an elaborate afternoon tea comprised of 6 Victoria sandwiches, 6 mini strawberry tarts, and 6 scones with smoked salmon and cream cheese. 2 hours and 15 minutes to complete. I heard Victoria sandwich. I was like, is she gonna make these people bake bread and make sandwiches? Not realizing Victoria sandwiches is basically just cupcakes. It's cupcakes how I eat cupcakes, which is split them holes in half, put the bottom on top of the cream, and make a little sandwich. Well, guess what? The Brits been doing it the whole damn time with Victoria sandwiches, which is basically a cupcake split in half with creme pat in the middle. Amazing. It was fun to watch these people go to town on this, and they all seemed to know what they were doing. Sarah kept messing up. She messed up once in that her tart shell cracked in her, just crumbled right in her hand. It was far too short a dough, and so she ended up remaking it. I'm sitting there like, I don't know what I thought she should have done, but remaking it was not the answer. And I was just like, this is telling me where this is headed for you, lady. Yeah, you are all nerves and you are messing up, and that proved prescient. I'll just say that.
It was interesting how hard she fell on her face in that challenge too. And I was just like, damn, she really like fucked it all the way up. Like, damn.
The fact she got it done and out and everything was pretty okay.
Yeah.
You know, even after having to, you know, make some more dough. I don't think she had to make. Did she think she had to make more dough? It seemed like she did.
She
I'm
did.
I'm going to yeah. But we'll get there, of course. Judging, Diana's up first. Symmetry, okay. Scone, a little chewy. Victoria sandwich, a little pale, a little doughy. Flavor's good. Strawberry tart looks pretty. The pastry's delicious, but should be thicker. Sarah's up next. Scones, not all the same height, but a good color. A little doughy. Lovely flavor. The dome is right on the sponge. It's nice and lovely Victoria sandwich. This again. They really would have bars this week. From the sublime to the ridiculous. The tarts look underbaked, are falling to bits, and need it longer in the oven. So decent scones, real good Victoria sandwich, and bad tarts. And I mean, I would have ate them hoes, but
that shit look raw. They look raw
real
to
light,
me.
real light.
They certainly need it. Considerably more color. Martin's up last. Likes the color on the scones. Flavor's good. Texture's nice. Delicious. Looks pretty good. The sponge looks good. Likes the boldness of the tarts. They look neat. The pastry is nice and short. Everything about it is good. Pastry good. Creme pat is good. Lovely. Really beautiful. Just full marks. And that's how we end up with this ranking here. Sarah, your tartness are underbaked. Diana, your sponge could have been baked longer, but the texture was spot on. And Martin, a perfect afternoon tea.
I mean, he 2 for 2 at this point. And the girls, before the last challenge, they were like, it's really anybody's game. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, at this point, if it went any other way, I would have been like, I'm not coming to review the last episode.
It would have been an upsetting situation.
And Martin, in his great humility, was like, I don't know. If I was him, I would have been like, I've smoked these hoes, and I'm just here to take it over the finish line today.
They ain't want none of this shit.
Right.
They ain't want none of it.
Right. They can't fade me. I does this. And
Oh
in the
my
beginning, might I add, when they were showing everyone's highlight reel, Sarah didn't have shit to show. They showed her one time because there was one time before the last 2 weeks that she actually did well enough to be called out in the competition. And Diana's was like up and down and up and down. Like, how many times you gonna show us that pineapple cake?
bruh.
But my guy consistently,
Constantly, consistently.
like,
It must be respected.
yeah.
It's all good. Our showstopper this week, were you showstopper this week?
Reminds me of what they made, please.
The Pièce Montée.
Oh yeah, I thought I was showstopped. I don't know what the fuck Sarah made, but sure. She don't know what she made. That's the other thing. She was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Girl, Google. Bing. Ask Jeeves, girl.
Let me tell you something. The amount of times it took me to get Pièce Montée was a lot, even
bet.
on Google. Because the spellings is wild, people. The French be on one.
But you not on the Great American Bake Off, friend. I think you would have found it if you were. That's all I'm saying. You couldn't come to the judging table like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Baby, this is not the technical challenge. This the showstopper. You have prepared for this.
So what was wild about this one, even the subtitles, when they tried to spell it out, it was like a brick over like a couple of the letters. Like they ain't know either.
Like, we don't have a font for this accent.
So showstopper is an intricately designed pièce montée, French for assembled or mounted piece. Usually a croquembouche. A croquembouche is an example. Basically build something, stick it together with edible glue, at least 12 inches, both tall and round as it ended up being. Nougat as the glue and an additional nougatine, as the glue and an additional baked element is what was requested of these bakers. Martin went for an amaze, as in corn, crow corn bouche.
Let's go.
Yes. Y'all heard me say fuck Martin a couple of times on his titling, but this one, yeah. You get a small applause from your guy here. Cornbread with a nectarine jam, corn sablé cookies with chocolate ganache filling, shoe buns filled with a corn creme pat, all put together to look like an ear of corn. Fascinating shit, y'all. If this is one y'all you should see. You truly should. It's kind of like amazing that he managed it. Diana, a fairy tale flamingo pièce montée, chocolate cakes filled with orange mocha mousse, passion fruit filled shoe buns decorated with raspberry meringue flamingos. This shit was ugly. Just plain trash. Last couple of things she has done have kind of looked like this, and I'm like, you are rushed, and it is showing. And so I myself was unhappy with this, and the judges knew what was up as well. Sarah went with a solidarity pièce montée, celebrating the people who helped her make it to the show. It's pistachio cake with raspberry orange blossom and mascarpone filling, a lemon raspberry macaroons. Another person saying, I don't make macaroons good, but I'm going to try to make them good this time. And though she succeeded at making them good this time, I'm telling people to stop doing that shit. If you don't make them good, don't. Don't try this time to get them right. Make something that you know you make right all the time and do it even better this time. Just get your shit right, people. Lemon verbena raspberry creme diplomat filled shoe buns. Man. Judging went as following. Martin up top achieved his corn on the cob look. Shoe buns are all even. The sablé biscuits boring and needed more filling. The cake was good, but not his best cake. The sweet corn creme pat corn flavor was more on the back end and needed a bigger punch. Paul don't like corn in desserts.
It was like xenophobia or some shit, because he was just a big hater of corn. Because the whole time Prue was eating that shit the fuck up. Like, damn.
Yes. Yeah. Paul seemed like one of them dudes who he seemed like my kid, like Xander. He just seemed like he liked what he liked, and nothing else would be accepted. Like, settle down, bruh. I bet you that shit delicious. Or I don't know. I can't say that. I don't know if I fuck with corn that hard.
I mean, you've had some sweet cornbread. It's not far. The cousin or corn with like sweet corn chunks, like whole corn kernels in it.
I'm saying with a nice little nectarine jam like they describe him having made. I bet you that was hit. And in fact, Prue said it was.
What about the the creme pat dough with corn in it? That's I don't know.
But if you process corn down, right, it's high fructose corn syrup. So if you process the corn down, it's going to be sweet.
Man-made.
Yeah. Diana feels unfinished and rushed. And it looked at part people. It looked
that shit terrible. Looked a mess. Girl, why you put that out there like that? This the finale. Like I said, if anybody else would have won, I would have told y'all I couldn't do it.
Her caramel did not cook down as like she needed it to, and so therefore she didn't get that. She didn't get that croaking boost. Yeah, and it never got to that amber state and so forth. So I don't even know if it was sticking like it should have. Just bad. The meringue flamingos were quite sharp in their flavor of raspberry. The cake is delicious.
Good or bad?
He liked it. He liked that sharp flavor because he always wants the punch of flavor.
Yeah,
missing a punch.
The cake's delicious. The flavors and textures are very good. The passion fruit in the shoe, very good. Loves the filling. It just doesn't look good, and that's what pretty much it came down to for this one. Tasted good. The textures seemed to be all on point, but it looked like ass, y'all. It was bad. Sarah, it's like modern art. The macaroons are delicious. Should have chosen a single flavor for the creme diplomat, as they both fight for supremacy. So it's lemon verbena and raspberry, and so they both just ping and pinging with these zingy flavors, and it's like, which one is the one I'm zinging off of? And I can get that. A nice looking cake, very nice flavor, really lovely, moist and light, a lovely cake. So she did well, just not winning it all well. You know what I'm saying? And but she did get to the finals, and hey, put some respect on her for that bit. She did what she had to do to get there. So that's all it is. Your winner of Season 1 on Roku, Season 6 if you count it overall, Season 7 if you count the CBS show, which I didn't know till today, is Martin Soares of Chicago fame. And props to him. He earned that shit in the end, y'all.
And I believe that we were talking about this before we hopped on. I believe he won the season and the episode.
Yes. It's not one of those ones where they basically had to reach back to say, well, he did real good most of these episodes, and then he did okay here in the finale. No, he really did. He schooled these fools all three challenges this week. He did it. He won, and it simply must be respected. I don't think I like the Americans' platter as much as I like the British one, and I can't get why. There's something the look of that American platter. I don't know. Maybe it's just that font or something, but also the material doesn't look as nice.
Is it bigger?
It didn't look bigger. It just looked less intricate.
You think they made us a second grade one?
I do. I feel like that was something they probably had made here in America and brought over with them, as opposed to wherever the Brits get theirs made at. And I think they do a better quality bit of crystal work over in England than they did in America.
I did enjoy them going outside and doing it the way that they like. The ending was so satisfying. It was just like the other show. I think they've changed the music up slightly so it doesn't feel exactly like the other music, and there is something a little bit more American about having all of these people with American accents in the tent. I did appreciate having Paul and Prue for that reason. I wouldn't mind a Brit hosting either, just to increase that in the tent. But like overall, a really enjoyable season. I wish we had a quarterfinal, but I also just realized that I don't think we do quarterfinals in America. We would call it something else.
No, man, we do like Elite Eight and
but we've never. But we don't call it a quote unquote quarterfinal. So it's like we have our semis and our final. So there's like finals. missing
Oh, so,
one.
yeah, it's like whatever the first round of playoffs is called something, whatever we call it. Round one of the playoffs,
Right.
we call it. So, but going forward,
We needed
I
it.
hope we get 10 episodes next go around. Give me my extra 4. Don't be skimping out on me, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a quarterfinal because it's a necessary part of the formula for this program.
How do you think?
And I missed it. I truly did miss it.
How do you think Noah would do on the episodes?
He wouldn't have worked at all for this one. I think I don't know if enough Americans know Mighty Boosh and IT Crowd and the other things he's been on to appreciate him like Brits do and like dorks like me who have I have like no Fielding art in my house. So
I didn't know who he was before the show, and I love him on the show. Like, I really like him. I think he's funny. Also, the thing that the guy said in the article that I wanted to say, we kind of talked about that earlier this season, that you have to go on the premise that people are watching the show for the very first time. Because the original show fans who are Americans are going to be here, but they're trying to get an audience who's never seen that show before. So I get why some of it felt like dumbed down for other audience members, but they are trying to score a new audience.
Yep. As it turns out, it was like their like top review or rated show on Roku Channel.
Yeah.
Which is why they so quickly was like, give me another one. Because it's got people coming to a channel that most people probably don't know exists.
Mm-hmm. It was delightful. It was very well done.
And that makes people go buy Roku devices. It makes people use their Roku TV in ways they might not have been doing this entire time. And I really, really enjoyed it. It really fit the bill. And it's also why we reviewed it. Because they were on point with it. And I was like, fuck with it. And so I think I had a great time doing this particular series. Regular Bake Off should be here around September. So, we should be back around then. I don't think there's anything in the meanwhile that we are like, let's jump on that. But if something pops up that fits us, or you think there's something that you think I would like to hear their take on it, holler at us. We'll see what we got going. I should probably check the email just in case.
Yeah, before we go.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Nothing in the old folder. Have to check just in case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, I thank you both as always for getting down with this. You know what I'm saying? A fun bit of we made it work whenever issues arrived, we got around them and worked around them. Aunt's birthday was in this.
It was.
And there's some other stuff where we just had to work around and move dates to record. And every time we just made it happen, y'all. And I think that is a compliment to how we get down as a team. We do this and we do it pretty good. Last of our, for at least for now, of our polls and questions. What is the poll this go around? My question for the week will be corn as dessert. So that's your question of the week.
No,
We got to do like a head-to-head Intamins or Little Debbie.
oh man.
Oh, you know what? All right.
So
it's
what
gotta
would that be?
three then.
Ho-hos or Swiss rolls?
Well, no. So I'm saying Intimates,
Okay.
Hostess,
Or Little Debbie.
or Little Deborah.
That's good.
Yeah, because I'm riding with Wendy's sister, Little Debbie.
Little Deborah. Deborah. Let's see. If I had to think about it,
I think it's
of
Hostess.
those options, I can't eat nothing Hostess no more because they make everything with lard. Every bit of it.
That's
Just all
crazy.
of it. Just full of swine. Like, come on, y'all. It's so unnecessary.
I kind of feel like over the years, like at first Little Debbie was like the one people thumb their nose at, but Little Debbie been like coming through strong for some decades now.
Ain't nobody else making Nutty Buddies. Not like she do.
Nope.
Although now they like wild small and she charged like $1.50 for them hoes.
I mean,
That's why we can't eat much. We can't be banging with much Little Debbie.
She
action
went
at
from
this
Little
point.
Debbie to Big Deborah to Deborah. And now that she's Deborah, she changed on us.
Right. She
She
switched
got,
up.
she got stuff in the cereal aisle now. She going out more and wearing less, and it ain't fair.
Listen, sis got her bag. I can't be
She
mad
got
at
her
it. I ain't mad at it.
Oh my gosh. That is the wonderful Nick Jew.
It's been fun. Can't wait to do it again. Last time we ended, I was like all sad. I'm like, oh my God. And then we did the big brunch. I'm like, oh my God. But now I know we're right around the corner. So very happy. Thank you all for listening and reaching out. And if you find this later on, hey.
Right? That's for real. You know what I'm saying? Nick Jew is a co-host of, just in case you didn't know, of the What's the Tea podcast. It's a great podcast that you should be getting down with as well. So make sure you get on that. Don't sleep. That's the homie Tatum 216.
Yes. I could be found on the Skim podcast, which also Nick has done a bunch of those with us. So go back and listen to those.
I might, yeah, okay. So make sure I put that in the show notes. He at least her most recent appearance on Skim. So it'll be there. All you gotta do is click go. I am the Entertainer 713. We do this. I can't say every week because right now you get a break, but we'll be back and then we'll do 10 more and it'll be lovely and it's going to be a good time to be had. I'm saying right now, man, we truck this right along. It's good stuff. We do a great show and we're grateful for you for having listened to it. We will catch you here in the fall sometime. Until then, peace.
Bye.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.